Hello everyone and welcome to a new trip report. Today we are flying with Loganair on this Embraer 145 Golf Sierra Alpha Juliet Kilo from Newcastle International Airport across to Stavanger Airport in Norway. This was my first time flying across to Stavanger and I must say I was pretty excited. Soon after arriving at the terminal, I commenced my way along to gate number 23, having a quick look at this Freebird Airlines A320, and then after a very short wait at gate 23, it was time to begin boarding our Embraer 145 for the short 1 hour flight across the North Sea to Norway. This, our Embraer 145 Sierra Alpha Juliet Kilo, previously flew with BMI Regional before being taken over by Loganair after the former airline sadly went bankrupt. Here she is looking great in the Loganair tartan colours, and inside the cabin, as you can see, nice interior with a lovely wing view as well. Shortly we began pushback from our stand, and as you can see the airport was fairly busy. Plenty of aircraft around and lots of passengers as well. It's great to see so many people travelling throughout this summer. Soon after pushback we began our taxi to the holding point of runway 25 at Newcastle Airport. Over to the left hand side you can see the Freebird Airbus A320 heading to Dalaman in Turkey is just taxiing ahead of us, so we followed this aircraft all the way along to the holding point, and I must say it was probably one of the slowest taxis to the end of the runway at Newcastle, which for anyone who has flown in and out of Newcastle knows it's a good distance. It was one of the slowest taxis ever to the end of the runway. I think at maximum we did maybe 10 or 12 knots at best. Soon after approaching the holding point of runway 25 at Newcastle, it was our turn to take off. So without further ado or any more interruption, enjoy the sound of these two Rolls-Royce AE 3007 engines as we take off from Newcastle. Shortly after taking off from Newcastle International Airport, we made a right-hand turn out, heading north up through Northumberland, taking in some of the most spectacular scenery that the northeast has to offer. Now, for me personally, this is my home area. This is where I was born and grew up, so to be able to see it so clearly from the air, despite a little bit of early cloud cover in the flight, was truly amazing. And I even got a chance to look down below and at one point see my own house from the air, which was pretty cool to be honest, as this flight sometimes just immediately makes a right hand turn and goes straight over the North Sea instead of up through Northumberland. So to be able to see the area from the sky was pretty unique on such a beautiful day. we continued our flight north up toward Berwick, we then made a right turn a little further north of the Scottish border, which took us out over the North Sea, where we climbed to our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. Like I say, the scenery all the way across the northeast and even looking across toward Edinburgh was beautiful. Soon, the flight attendant on this flight began the in-flight service, which was a hot drink, a couple bits of water, and also a caramel wafer and a bit of shortbread. Honestly, this was a really welcome treat. Soon we settled into our cruise, and just thinking about the lovely scenery we'd just seen, I was soon taken aback by how quickly we seemed to start our descent down into Stavanger. Indeed, the flight is not a very long one, only just over an hour, so you quickly get up to 37,000 feet before you suddenly find yourself descending down into Norway. All in all though, it is a pretty cool flight, and one which definitely seems to get a lot of use. The flight there was full, and I've noticed that several flights coming back from Norway, when plane spotting at Newcastle, always tend to have a good amount of passengers getting off, so it does seem to be a very popular flight. Soon the beautiful Norwegian coast came into view beneath the clouds, and shortly we began our left-hand turn to establish onto the approach for runway 36 at Stavanger Airport. Here's the landing, and as you can see it was fairly cloudy with the odd heavy shower of rain here and there. So here we are, welcome to Stavanger Airport in Norway. This is Norway's third busiest airport and on average handles around 4.5 million passengers per year. It's also home to a large number of helicopter movements which serve in the North Sea oil rigs off the coast of Norway. And it also hosts quite a few nice different airlines and charters which you can see. Here's one landing just after we did. So shortly we taxied past all the oil rig helicopters which were waiting in line for the next load of workers to head out to the rigs, and after we taxied onto our stand the engine was shut down and deboarding commenced soon thereafter. Thanks to the crew there was just enough time for a quick cockpit visit before having to deboard and go through passport control. So here's a little glimpse. And there we have it folks, a wonderful flight with Loganair from Newcastle to Stavanger. I would highly recommend the airline. If you haven't flown with them before, please be sure to try them out and let me know what you think in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care everyone.